Hey guys, it's almost bar exam time. I hope the tips I shared in my previous video were helpful. I want to share some more exam day advice. My first advice would be to carry a nice lunch. If your center is a center which allowed you to pre-order your meals, I'd highly recommend that you pre-order your meal. The break that you get between the two sessions is not enough for you to step out and procure a meal or buy a meal from anywhere. And all those shops close by to your exam center, they get filled with students, there are long lines. You don't want to be anxious about running late, not having enough time. So I'd highly recommend that you carry a nice lunch with you or pre-order your meal. It's not going to be the best meal in the world. They'll probably just give you a sandwich and a packet of chips, but it's helpful to fill you up, which is very important. Don't eat anything heavy, but make sure you have some food to energize you for the next session. This advice is probably the most important out of all of these, is to take a break. Now, when you get that 1 hour, between 1 hour, 1.5 hour between the two sessions, don't read the rules, don't study anything, just get your food and relax. You've probably heard this now from a lot of people saying that this exam is a marathon, not a sprint. During that 1 hour, you're not going to achieve anything. It's important that you wind down and relax your mind. This was something I learned the hard way. I would spend that 1 hour just reading, just knowing, okay, let's review the rule. What if it's this one rule I review and it comes in the exam? That was my mindset when I took it at a previous time. When I was in my last session of the MBEs, my brain just shut off. It stopped processing the questions. I just couldn't get my mind to read the questions, to understand the question. Therefore, it's very important that you give yourself and give your mind a break during that 1 hour. Listen to music, disconnect from everybody else. If talking to everybody else, just chit-chatting helps you relax, do that by all means. Do not discuss the first session because that's not going to get you anywhere. I'd highly recommend that you take the time, relax, listen to music, have a meal, and not think about anything else. The next advice is to carry earplugs. You may not need them, you may find them uncomfortable, but I recommend having them. When I took the exam, I was in the first row and the proctors in front of me were continuously talking. Despite me telling them to stop, they continued to whisper. That I feel is something that potentially cost me the exam. Maybe the result would have been different if I had earplugs. I highly recommend that you carry earplugs. Hopefully you won't need them, but in case you find yourself in a scenario in which I did, it's important to have that. The next advice I would have for you is to wear comfortable clothing. You're going to be spending a lot of time sitting on some very uncomfortable benches or chairs. So do the best you can for yourself and wear comfortable clothing. You already probably got an email from your exam center advising you to carry like a pullover or a sweater, which you should as well, because it could get cold. You don't want these factors affecting you on the exam day. Be comfortable so that you can focus and give your best to the exam. And my final advice, something that shouldn't even need saying, but I'm gonna say it: be on time. Exam is anxiety inducing. You don't want to add on to it by being late. First day, you go through a whole process. You don't know where the center is. You don't know where your seat is. They make you wear these awful bands as well. Reach on time so that there's enough time to go through that whole process. Well, those were my exam day tips. If you know somebody who's taking the bar exam or is going to take the bar exam, please share with them. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments, or feel free to message me. All the very best for the exam.